Live from KTVU, this is the Emmy Award-winning 10 o'clock news on Channel 2, the #1 primetime newscast in the country.
Good evening. I'm Elaine Corral.
And I'm Dennis Richmond. The sound of gunshots sent terror through employees high up in a San Francisco office building this afternoon as a heavily armed gunman entered the offices of a prestigious law firm and began killing people. It happened in the heart of the financial district inside this high-rise at 101 California Street. The area around the building remains sealed at this hour. The gunman killed 8 people. He wounded 6 others and in the end took his own life as police closed in. The first call to police came at 3:02 this afternoon.
On 26th floor, stairwell number 1, possibly a barricaded suspect.
Initially, when we got here, we found that there were 5, maybe 6 victims. Preliminary investigation now shows there might be a few more. We found some other victims in a stairwell.
There's louts in there. I want you to just go and get me some patients and bring them out.
He's a delayed. He's
Get out of the way. You're going to get run over. This is our...
There are people shot in several locations.
The end came about an hour after the shooting began. The gunman was in a stairwell between the 29th and 30th floors. Police were closing in.
He was just about to be confronted by police officers coming up the stairwell from the 29th floor, and he was going down from the 30th floor. And when he saw the officers, he put the gun to his, I think, under his chin and fired one shot with a weapon.
Still, the terror was not over for hundreds of workers who remained barricaded behind office doors inside the building. There were reports of a second gunman that later proved false, but real enough for police to evacuate the building 1 floor at a time. Tonight, everyone is said to be safely out of that building.
As of this hour, the name of the gunman has not been released. Several witnesses did say they saw him earlier in the day on the 34th floor, where he had apparently been involved in a deposition being taken at the law firm of Pettit and Martin. He reportedly left the law offices and then returned about 3 o'clock this afternoon, only this time he had an ammo belt slung over his shoulder and 3 semi-automatic handguns. Faith Fancher is standing by at 101 with a live report. Faith.
Elaine, the ordeal began at 3 p.m. this afternoon. That's when 101 California Street in San Francisco's financial district became the scene of a massacre that has left at least 9 dead and 6 wounded. A white man in his 50s, dressed in a business suit with 2 semi-automatic weapons strapped to his suspenders and a code 45 in his hand, walked into the conference room on the 34th floor. Conference room D of the law firm of Pettit and Martin. He opened fire, shooting some Pettit and Martin employees and sending others fleeing for their lives.
We were in the bathroom when it happened, and we heard the smoke and fire alarm go off, and walked out of our, thought it was a fire alarm. We're going to go grab our purses, and then saw the bullet holes in the glass wall of the conference room, and ran down the stairs.
Did you hear any shooting?
No, we did not hear the shoot. I could smell the smoke.
All I saw was a bullet-ridden conference room windows, lots of bullet holes, and then I ran and just wanted to get out of there.
We were having a meeting in 33D, as in dog. The conference room that first got shot up is 34D, as in dog.
You were right below.
Not immediately, but close. It's not directly below. And we were just finishing our meeting. We were about to escort our clients to the elevator bank, and we heard a number of sharp, strong, hard sounds.
The heavily armed gunman started on the 34th floor, but he didn't stop there. Using the stairwell, he went to the 33rd, 31st, and 30th floors. He stopped on each floor, stalking hallways and offices and leaving a trail of victims behind.
There are people shot in several locations. People shot on the 34th floor. People shot in a stairwell.
A lot of screaming and just like, get out, let's get out of here. And people just headed for the stairwell and got out of the stairwell. We just came straight down into the lobby and got out.
Did you see officers running toward the building when you got out?
When I got out, there was no police at all, and someone ran across the street and grabbed a meter maid, and she got on the radio and just called in, and all of a sudden, cops come from everywhere.
When Mayor Frank Jordan arrived on the scene, he said investigators don't have a definite motive for the killing rampage. The mayor says it may well be that the gunman was in litigation with Pettit and Martin or a former client. Whatever his motive, the mayor says, he definitely came intent on murder.
It may have been something that he prearranged before he came there, because not only did he have the weapons, but he also had a large cache of ammunition.
This calm Thursday afternoon turned into a nightmare for people in this building at 101 California Street, all 48 floors of them. Those who didn't get out with the first mad scramble for the exits were told to lock their doors and stay inside as police began a floor-to-floor search. Officers confronted the gunman on the stairs between the 30th and 29th floors. He saw them and took his own life with a single shot.
The investigation is ongoing. We have people we're talking to. We're trying to piece it together. We're asking the same questions you are.
Right now, this building at 101 California Street is still sealed. There are still people inside, witnesses that police investigators are interviewing, and there are still 7 dead inside, including, we are told, the gunman. Elaine, Dennis, back to you.
Thank you very much, Faith. Today's massacre was San Francisco's deadliest incident of workplace violence in recent memory. Of the 9 people who died, 7, including the gunman, never made it out of the building. 2 others were declared dead at San Francisco General Hospital. Authorities say when the gunman entered the law firm, he apparently did not say anything, but simply started firing. Leslie Griffith is at San Francisco General tonight with a live report on the gunman and the victims. Leslie.
Elaine, as you know, the most seriously injured are always brought here to San Francisco General Hospital. Tonight, 2 are dead. They were dead on arrival. 28-year-old John Scully, an attorney, and 33-year-old Deborah Fogel. 6 others are wounded, at least 2 critical tonight. When this terror, this mass murder began to surface and victim after victim began coming out of that building, those who were coherent enough gave police their names, and this is where their families came to find them.
She was asking why, why he had to come in like that. She just said he just came in and just started shooting.
That's the question that no one can fully answer tonight.
At this point, there is some question about the individual may have even been involved in some litigation with the law firm, but we're not sure at the present time. He seemed to be very accurate in his firing of his weapons, and he definitely was ready for action because he had 2 semi-automatic weapons that were strapped to his suspenders, and he had 1 handgun, a .45, that he had freely in one of his hands.
Later this evening, police said that the suspect had a note on him and that he was involved in some way with a deposition taken at the law firm this afternoon. We spoke with a witness who claims to have seen the suspect, the note, and the man's driver's license.
The note was just, basically a list of the people that he wanted to kill at Pettit and Martin. And, it was several pages.
That man right there, Alan Hinman, the man who just spoke, was apparently making a delivery at 101 California today. He says that he saw the name of the gunman, that it was on the gunman's driver's license. Police took it out of his pocket. He says that he also saw a letter, as you heard, that the gunman was carrying at the time. This man did pass the gunman's name, the name on the driver's license, on to us. We have not been able to confirm that name with police, however. We know that the man was around 50 years old. As Faith told you, he apparently shot himself in the head following this mass murder. Now, as for the dead, 28-year-old John Scully, San Francisco attorney, Deborah Fogel, 33 years old, died today, a gunshot wound to the throat. 2 are in critical condition here tonight. Sharon Jones O'Rourke of Plano, Texas. It's unclear why she was in San Francisco, possibly involved somehow in this deposition that was being taken today. 39-year-old Brian Berger, he is from San Francisco. He is in critical condition tonight. 2 are in serious condition. Michelle Scully, that is the wife of the attorney who was killed. She is also an attorney. 2 of her students were here at the hospital just a while ago asking about them, if they were okay, and of course her husband was killed. He was one of the first ones shot, we are told today. Paramedics told us as they were taking her in, she kept asking about her husband. Also on that list, Vicki Smith, she's from Hillsborough. We don't have an age on her. She is in serious condition here tonight. And the wife of the man that you saw at the beginning, Deanne Eves, she is from Richmond, and she is in fair condition, expected to recover. Charles Ross, he is at St. Francis Hospital tonight, 42 years old. He is stable. Now, just a little while ago, the coroner drove up, and the coroner began to put bodies, these two bodies from San Francisco General, into the coroner's van and took them away. So Dennis and Elaine, as it stands now, 9 are dead, including the gunman.
Thank you very much, Leslie.
Thank you, Leslie. Now, when the shooting started inside 101 California this afternoon, hundreds of panic-stricken workers either ran for safety, as we told you, or waited out the terror, barricaded behind their office doors. Police immediately put the elevators out of service, told everyone to stay in the building, to stay away from stairwells, and lock themselves inside their offices. The moments after the shooting, and about every 10 minutes after that, police used the building's public address system to warn the tenants not to try to leave the building. Many tenants remained trapped inside for hours with little clear idea of what was going on. Some called our newsroom from inside their offices to share their cruel ordeal.
At about 3 o'clock this afternoon, it came over the building's emergency speaker system that there was an emergency going on in the building and that we were to stay inside of our offices and lock the door. We did so and got a couple of hundred nervous people up here. There's a lot of people huddled in one conference room, so we're pretty confused as to what's going on.
You okay? Glad you got out.
Me too.
You guys okay?
No.
Along with using the building's loudspeaker, officers also went from floor to floor with their guns drawn, ordering people to stay put, stay calm until it was safe to leave.
Dozens of questions about the shooting at 101 California remain unanswered tonight. Police will work long into the night, combing the building for clues. John Fowler is on the scene right now with a live report on the latest happening there tonight. John.
Thanks very much, Elaine. Police just minutes ago report that they have now finished going through this building and have declared it safe. Well, they described the crime scene on the 34th and the 33rd, 32nd, 30th floors as gruesome. Now, after talking this evening with witnesses and others, we've been able to piece together a little bit of the details of what happened up there. People who are familiar with the law firm talked to us. People who were on the floor and interviewed people connected to the shooting have also given us some of these details. Here's basically what we know. The gunman stepped off the 34th floor elevator loading a semi-automatic pistol. He turned to a secretary who was on the floor and said something like, "Wait a minute." She didn't. She took off running. The man then walked directly down the corridor to the office of a lawyer here who's a partner in the firm of Pettit and Martin, shot through the glass in that man's office, walked into the office, and then shot him point blank. It's believed that he is one of the dead. The gunman then turned his attention to the conference room next door. He then opened fire there, shot at least one attorney and possibly one other in that room, and apparently knew exactly who he was looking for, shot several times there. He then walked down the hall rapidly again toward another lawyer's office just 2 offices away and opened fire on that attorney. Now, we're not exactly sure why he targeted these people. There is some speculation, of course, that the man was involved in some litigation there and may have been, as we reported, involved in some deposition. However, one of the witnesses who survived the shooting in that conference room told reporters earlier tonight that she did not recognize the man, that he apparently had not been in that room earlier that day. He may have been working with some of the other lawyers, though. We do not know at this point. He apparently shot specific individuals as he walked around this very large room on the 34th floor. It's a very large conference room. It takes up the entire quarter of one of the floors over there. He walked all the way around the building. It's about 250 feet across, and at the other side began shooting. It's not known exactly if he had targeted certain individuals in certain offices, but it did appear to be an office where people that he at least knew there were individuals that he was targeting. He walked down an interior stairwell, which is not apparently connected to the fire well, but an interior stairwell inside the offices. There are 4 floors here occupied by Pettit and Martin. They have interior stairwells between their floors. He walked down to the 2nd floor, opened fire on, again, some specific individuals. We do not know, again, whether or not he had targeted these people because of some past litigation or because of that deposition he was apparently involved in earlier. But we do know he did have in mind certain individuals to shoot. Whether he got them all or whether he shot some others by random, we don't know. At this point, the streets next to the 101 California have been opened up. Traffic is moving again, and we're told that the building will be open again tomorrow, although Pettit and Martin will keep their doors closed. We'll have counselors available for all those who are involved.
All right, John, thank you very much for that report.
But now here's a recap of what we know at this hour. A heavily armed gunman killed 8 people, he wounded 6 others. Then as police approached, the man took his own life. The gunman apparently was going after people at the law offices of Pettit and Martin at 101 California Street. Police say the gunman remained calm. He went about shooting people methodically. San Francisco General Hospital released the names of 2 of the dead. They are 28-year-old John Scully of San Francisco, no relation to the Apple computer executive, and 33-year-old Deborah Fogel. Her hometown is not known right now.